Hey guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Mrs. Asanji Yvette, and I'm a family therapist and a relationship and marriage coach. Okay, today let's talk about things you shouldn't ask someone on the first date. People have gone on the first date and never went on any second date because of how how the first date looked like. You can't go on a first date and want to carry everything and boom, ask about the person, you just want to know everything about the person. On the first date, there are things you can talk about on the first date. There are things you should avoid on the first date. Many people have lose potential spouses. People that they could have gotten married to due to the fact that they asked the right questions at the wrong time. So what are some of the questions that you can ask someone on the first date? Or what are the things that you should avoid? I think we should talk about that. The things you should avoid on the first date. Okay. Now, please, if you're new on my platform, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Yes, so you don't miss out on any of my videos. I do relationship and marriage tips on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook. Counselor Mrs. Asanji Yvette on Twitter, on Instagram. You can follow me on any of those social media platforms. Now let's talk about things you shouldn't talk about on a first date. Please remember to subscribe, please, if you haven't. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like and share. Okay. Now, people don't feel very okay the people feel embarrassed when you ask them of their age. Yes, it's true, I am maybe getting old or something like that. But for you to meet me on the first date, or we are meeting on the first date, and you want to start asking me, how old are you? It's kind of embarrassing. So let me say, okay, I'm a lady and maybe I found a guy I'm interested in. And on the first date, he's asking me how old. In my head, I'm already thinking, what if he wanted to get married to a lady that is maybe 5 years younger than him? So if I say I am this now, automatically it's going to spoil everything. Automatically it's going to stop the relationship. So you should not go as far as asking somebody how old, what is your age on the first date. It's really embarrassing. Even in real life, people find it difficult to tell you their age. Somebody is telling you it's my birthday. Okay, how old are you? I am +1. They don't even want to tell you that I am 30, I am 40, I am 25 and stuff. So it is really, really embarrassing. Now, when you ask that question of the age, even a lady asking a guy, the guy might be afraid, like, okay, what if she's older than me? Or if it's the guy asking the lady, she'll be like, what if I'm older than him? Or what if he wants to date or marry a lady that she is 5 years younger, or she is 3 years younger, or maybe he has an age range. So he now wants to know if I fall within that age range that he can marry. So what if I give my answer and the answer turns out that it doesn't fall within the age range? It's going to end the relationship. It's going to terminate the relationship. So please, that shouldn't come up in the first date. At least on the first date, is just like, okay, getting acquaintance with someone. Okay, there are some key questions that should be left for further or for other subsequent dating. Okay, now equally, you should not go as far as asking somebody how much they earn. It's just like you're coming in for money. Imagine a guy asking a lady how much. Okay, you're working with the bank, how much are they paying you on the first date? Is that not embarrassing? It's really, really, it's just like the guy came it's like he came in for money. Let's say if it's a lady asking a guy, it's just like she's a gold digger. So she wants to wait to see the kind of money that he's working, to see if it's worth entering into the relationship or not. Or maybe the relationship is now defined based on how much he is earning. So money or how much somebody earns shouldn't be one of the things you should discuss on the first date. Equally, don't talk about visit. You hang out with somebody on the first date, obviously you people need to keep hanging out for some time. Don't start talking about when will you visit me. No. It sounds like you have intentions. You already want them to come, especially if it's a guy asking the lady, when will you visit me? It's just like he's asking for intentions. He has intentions of sex already. Why should you talk about visit on the first date? When you start dating someone, you need to hang out with them, you know, out. It could be in a public place. It could be maybe where you can catch some fun, or wherever. You can choose wherever you want to have your first date, but it's not obviously the home. Neither the home of the lady nor the home of the guy. And neither should visiting even come up on that first date. Okay. Now, another mistake people or question that somebody asks is like, tell me about your past relationship. Is that really necessary on the first date? Yes, the past might be, no, okay, let me say I can be made up of my past, but my past does not define me. It does not define where I'm going to. Yes, I have gone through that past, but it does not define where I am going to. So I can be a new me today, but I have a very dirty past. Imagine asking me about my past now, just in the first date. I don't even know if I can trust you to talk about my past with you. I don't know if I can open up some key things to you. I barely know who you are. So how can I be talking about some key things about my past to you? It's still the first day we are hanging out. So please avoid that kind of a thing. You should not go as far as asking somebody to tell you about their past relationship. Maybe it wasn't good enough, and maybe they don't even want to think about it. And even if they want to think about it, it's still early enough for you to ask them that kind of a question. Worst of all, asking them, how many relationships have you had in the past? Are you coming to take me for who I am right now, or for who I have been? You know, it's embarrassing. So let's say somebody that has had several failed relationships. Let's say after 2 months or so, the relationship fails. And so maybe they've been into like kind of 15 relationships and none of them are working. If she can really tell that she's been into 15 relationships, won't you run for your life? You will get up from there and run, and you never come back. So that's not very necessary. There's some things that will unfold as time goes on. You don't need to ask someone how many relationships you've been into. Have you had sex before? That's even one of the worst things. Have you had sex before? That means you're trying to know if they are a virgin. That is not something that you should be interested in on the first date. Whether they are a virgin or not, if you're interested in someone and you want to grow closer to them, and no, sex should be one of the least things on your list if you're for a serious relationship. But if someone starts sounding like this, you can obviously know where they belong. Okay. Equally, sometimes people ask about, do you have kids? It's too early. They might have kids, but they're not proud of it. Maybe they made 1 or 2 mistakes in the past, had kids, and they're not proud of that kind of, you know, the kind of life they have lived. Imagine asking them on the first date. They might lie. They might just tell you, no, I don't have kids. Because they fear losing you. They fear it might scare you away. In their head, it's like, what if you don't want to marry a woman with kids? What if you don't want to marry someone that has a kid already? So obviously, it's going to end today. People might have kids, but they might choose to talk about it maybe later on as, you know, the assurance of the relationship keeps unfolding. But if you want to ask them up front on the very first date, it might cause them to lie. Then later on now, you will not blame them for lying. Okay, I discovered that after dating this lady for this length of time, I discovered that she had kids. But I asked her before if she has kids and she said no. When did you ask her? The time, the moment, the period you asked her matters a lot. Maybe your timing was not the best. You cannot ask her on the first date. It's embarrassing. So maybe to answer the question and make you feel pleased, she might just say no. Or a guy might just say no, I don't have kids. Whereas he has kids with somebody. So you have to avoid, these are the kind of questions that you need to avoid them. Okay? There are things that, in fact, first date is just getting the acquaintance. Just talking, getting to know who the person is. Maybe having a meal together. chatting about any other thing, but there's some key aspects about life that shouldn't come up on the first date. All right, guys, I will be coming back again to tell you more about things you should do and things you shouldn't do on the first date. If you haven't if you haven't shared, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Please don't go without subscribing to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Thank you so much. Bye bye.